To show you my favorite method binding my inserts for my traveler's notebook, you need some extra tools. So you need a bone folder or something. You can use the back of a scissor as well to get crisp edges. So, but we don't need that at the moment. So you need some scissors to cut the yarn for sewing the inserts together, the pages. You need a clamp, an awl to punch the holes, and a needle. So, oh, and what I am using is I'm using from We Are Memory Keepers. I need the bookbinding tool. So you have two different options. So you have either this side, so you can punch the holes here for the Japanese bookbinding at the side of a page, so like so. Then the book is bound at one edge together. But I am using this here, and it is slightly curved, so that's why I am folding my booklets before I'm punching the holes on the middle line. So technically you can align the booklet with the edge, but yeah, you're slightly off if you don't fold those pages. I will show that in a minute. So, but before, I'll just put that aside, and I will use my bone folder to get crisp edges here. So this is my year at a glance, future log, and month on 2 pages. And it is already, well, this is the first page and this is the middle page. So if I now begin folding from this side, I have everything in the correct order. So, and to help me with finding the right order, or not messing up with my pages, I have, you remember, I have this page numbers here. So this is page 19. And if I take now my next page and fold it inwards, getting a nice crisp edge so that it fits into my bookbinding. So if I now take this, I open my last page I folded, and I have here page 18, and if I put my first page I folded inside, it should be page 19. So if I now close it, I'm having page 17, and here's page 16. So I fold this now inwards. So I take the page, and what is on top of the page, so I fold it inwards. So, and I'm now taking everything what I folded, put it into my last folded page. I have 16 and 17, perfect. So, next page. Take the page, fold it inwards. The only thing is making sure that you don't turn the page and fold it in the wrong direction. So, and because I only cutted the top and the bottom side of my pages, I have enough space here to cut away all the excess of my booklet. So, and I have nice edges, straight edges, I can use as a guidance to fold everything. So I open my last folded page and I have page 14 and yeah, 15, and that is perfect. So fold it. Okay. Page no, open it, page 12 and page 13. Yeah. So, yeah. Page 10 and page 11. Page 8, page 9, perfect. Only a few more pages and then the thing is, if you buy inserts from the shop, you can't, that's why I have my own inserts. It meant I have to swap systems. So now I can just easily use my 6-ring binder or my traveler's notebook. Everything is where I'm used. It should be. So yeah, I don't have to adapt to a new system. I have my system and that's perfect. So that is the last page, and so okay. And I guess I have to hole punch in two. Yeah, in two. I have to split it in 2 halves because I guess I don't fit it underneath here. Yeah, it will be too much. Yeah. So I'm taking the first half of it, putting everything together that it is lined up, at least at the bottom and at the top, but because I cut everything out by hand, it is a slightly difference here, but I don't care that much. So if you want to, you can now hold everything together with a clamp. So use a paper clip, but I don't need that because it holds the board holds everything together, and if you're making sure everything is Okay, so lay it into this fold here. So, and this here is curved as well, and you have to put this side on top of it so that it holds everything in place. So that every second hole is surrounded by a black circle. So that is very important to count how many holes I have to punch and which I have to use. So I line everything up here at the top. And I try to not mess up with my folded edge. So, and I use this. So you don't need to tighten it up too much. Oops, my hair. Just a little bit so that everything is held in place. So, and now I need my owl. Yeah. So, if I count now the blank holes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I need an odd number of holes for the saddle stitch. So I count these with a black circle around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. I need an odd number, so I'm using the black holes. So just quickly, and that is really quicker than using a template for punching the holes. That is really easy. So I lay that now upside down aside and take the other pages, making sure that everything is in place and everything is in the middle together. So let's line it up with the board. So using the screw to hold everything in place. So, and then using the holes with a black circle around to punch my holes. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So, and if I put this upside down, get everything back, well, I have to put yeah, and then you can see I have holes. This one is a bit off. Hopefully that will do it. Yeah, it will do. Yeah, it's just the way I folded the page. So I find it now easier if I use my clamp now to hold everything together. Okay, let's use this side. Just on one side so that it doesn't move around that much, because I have to lay it down a bit and yeah. So I now have to measure how many thread I have to use. So I want to use it as a double thread and not as a single thread. So I'm taking the end of my thread, lay it here on top of my booklet. 1 and 2, and I measure it here at the width of my pages. So 3 and 4, and I cut it. I thread my needle. No, come on. So. And here you can choose whatever thread you would like, whichever color you would like. I have a simple polyester thread. You can use embroidery thread or linen thread, whatever you want, and whatever you have at hand, and which color you have at hand. So I'm now finding my middle hole, which is the 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going from the inside. This is my inside. This is the outside. That's why my booklets have a cover. So I go through the middle hole. And I'm leaving a little end to hold it in place. I'm going now through the next hole from the outside. Oh, it's a very, so through the outside, from the outside through the inside. So now I have to hold this with my thumb. And now from the inside through the outside. From the outside through the inside, and from the outside, inside through the outside. So, and now, so I have sewn from the middle to the top. Now I have to sew from the top to the all the way to the bottom. So I'm now going here this way. So where's my hole? Okay, and just altering so through the middle hole, so, and the next. Yeah, you have to put the needle straight through and not angled as I did before. So and now from the bottom to the middle. So back here, here, here through, and now my last stitch goes again through the middle hole, pulling it through tight, and you can see that this here is a bit loose, so oops, yeah, I can leave it here. That is my very first stitch. So, and you are using not that what is loose. I'll make it a bit more obvious. You're going through this and you tie a knot. So so you're going underneath the thread from the back to the top, and you create a loop. Actually, you create a loop. So, and you're going from the back to the front again through the loop, and you tie a knot. So a knot, and I pull this. So now you have a knot here. You go straight through the middle hole back to the inside, and you pull the knot through, and then you finish this knot again with a knot. So you tie a knot here. So, and that's it. You can now pull your thread underneath your stitching line and cut it off. So it's a bit out of the way. You can now pull this through or cut it off. So just without this step. But I'd like to have this here. So, and now you have a perfectly, well, not yet perfect. I have to cut this edge off because it is too wide. What I do is I go with my bone folder over the edge here, and I put some heavy books on top of it. But yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to. So this is now my booklet. Yeah, and I just have to cut this edge off. Yeah, and then I told you that you don't have to fold all the pages, and instead use this middle line as a guidance. So making sure all the pages are aligned as best as possible, and then I used the clamp to hold everything in place. So I use this line now to find my center point, press it down so the booklet is bent then a little bit, as you can see here, it's bent. So I go and grab my hole punch and try not to. So I hope that is, well, it stays a bit better in line if you fold the pages, but if you have only a couple of pages, and it makes a small difference. So in the appearance, so I hope yeah, I think it is as straight as possible. Now perhaps I can screw it. No. Okay, so I use the black circled holes as well as with my other booklet, so that I get 9 holes, and it is a bit it has 9 pages, so it is a bit tough to press everything down, and I found that this method is the best method when you have only a couple of pages. So this is 120 gram paper, and it's it's 9 pages. So that is, it was a bit hard to press the owl down, but ta-da! And yeah, I nearly, well, it is quite in the center, I would say. Yeah. And the next stays the same. So I need my needle, I need my thread, and I measure my thread 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 times the width of my booklet. And what I do, then I give a bit more than last time because it was quite narrow. So I cut my thread, and I'm taking the fresh end to thread the needle. So double my thread. Yeah, nearly. Okay, so I think I don't need my paper clip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go through the 5th hole from the inside, from the inside to the outside page. So, and I leave a little end here. Hold it with my thumb. Now I go from the outside to the inside, through the hole, through the next hole, and making sure that all the thread comes through from the inside to the outside. From the outside to the inside. And now I have reached the top of my page, and that means I am going all the way down through the bottom of my booklet. So So I have sewn the top of it together. So let's go for the other half of the booklet. So I reached the bottom, and now I have to fill these gaps, and by going back to my middle hole. Oh, what is that? Ah, okay. I created a little loop, but yeah, so. And again, you can see, if I go a bit up, so here, this is a bit loose. That was my first stitch, where I came from this, and this is not secured, so I go into the back of this loop. I need to be straight. And I'm going to the back of through the back of my loop and create a knot. And this knot I bring now to the inside by going through the hole, pushing it through, and then I am going to, oh, now it's a bit loose, missed. Ah. It doesn't matter, I guess. This is a daily, so yeah, it's now solved and not so wobbly. Okay, so you can tuck it underneath these threads, but you can, if you want to, just leave it and cut it. So, and now you have to fold it, or I have to fold it, you as well if you use this method. And so I carefully bend this over. Fold it, and then I'm using my bone folder, going over this edge. Yeah, and now it stays. And what I find is, compared to this edge is really sharp. It's a sharp edge. This edge, this is my second booklet, this is a bit rounder. It is a bit softer. So yeah, you decide what you want to do. You can fold everything before sewing it together, or not, and then fold it, and then you get a rounder edge. So yeah, that is this. And yeah, I will bind now my last booklets, and then yeah, this video goes further when I put my traveler's notebook in passport size together. So